Welcome back.
Yes, now the expenditure head of the Ministry of Sports was approved in Parliament today.
The issue surrounding the National Olympic Committee was keenly debated in Parliament.
I request that the National Olympic Committee be brought before the COPE Committee and an investigation be conducted. There are both government and opposition members in it. The International Olympic Committee may have issued a ruling, however the Parliament is supreme. Just like the Cricket Board was investigated, we should investigate them and create the background for the people of this country to find out the truth.
There are three sports mafias. One is the Olympic Committee mafia. Second is the cricket mafia. Third is the football mafia. There is also corruption in the sports development department within the Ministry of Sports. Many ministers bowed down to this mafia for various perks, and this has led to the destruction of sports. Honourable Speaker, the Olympic Committee is being run by the same group of people. Here Mr. Fernando becomes the chairman, while someone else becomes the secretary. They never lose their positions. The Olympic Committee receives large amounts of funds from overseas. Up to date, these officials are reluctant to reveal their accounts to us. Honourable Speaker, please summon the National Olympic Committee before the COPE Committee. This would be a great service to the nation.
According
to what we have heard, these officials have complained to the President that they would be imprisoned if they remain in the ministry and that they also risk losing their pensions. They have requested that they be removed from this ministry. The Director General of Sports has taken all the powers into her hands and is carrying out activities surpassing the actions of ministerial secretaries. The secretaries are also facing issues due to this.
There
was a mafia in sports. I was able to root it out. Over the recent past, several big names in sports were displaced. People invited me to take over sports. I had to amend the Sports Act as well. There are protests against me because of an audit of the Olympic Committee. Sports has become a major force in the economies of developed nations. We are working with the government to create a sports economy. We were able to contribute $50 million last year. Our target is $500 million by 2015.
We should be happy that nearly $3 billion has been allocated for sports. In the past, Colombo received good facilities while rural areas did not. Now it is the other way around. The Ministry of Sports is not developing facilities in our areas, believing that these areas are rich.
Well, still in Parliament, Deputy Minister of Health Lalit Dissanayake says that the Ministry of Health plans to introduce bone marrow transplants as a permanent cure for thalassemia.
Yes, he made this statement in response to a question raised by MP Sajid Premadasa in Parliament today.
There is a permanent cure for thalassemia, that is bone marrow transplants. When will such a centre be set up in our country and a permanent solution be provided to thalassemia patients?
This is a very important question. It is good that the masses are informed of thalassemia. If a bone marrow transplant is done in Italy, it will cost around 15 million. In India or Pakistan, it would cost 5 million. Bone marrows need to be compatible to be transplanted. We are conducting a research into this now. We hope to establish such a centre in the future.
What steps will be taken to identify individuals who carry the thalassemia disease, and when will the technique of HNA mapping, which checks if genes are compatible, be introduced?
We have conducted thalassemia centres in many affected districts. We carry out programs in schools, and we have also launched a new public awareness campaign. The necessary facilities are in place to carry out tests. However, the public is not aware of it.
You're watching Primetime News at 9, and up next is Action TV.
The first 5-year tenure of the Northwestern Provincial Council could be identified as a period in which many activities were performed on behalf of the public. A few months ago, members were chosen for the 6th administrative tenure of the Northwestern Provincial Council, and during the election period, education was one of the key topics that was impressed upon by contesting candidates. According to the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, both the government and the Provincial Council are given the authority to regulate the education sector. During the first administrative tenure of the Northwestern Provincial Council, a significant amount of work was done on behalf of the education sector. The construction of a permanent building for the Galgamuh Divisional Education Office was one such activity. The building was declared open in 1992. However, a regime change in 1994 signaled the commencement of plans to take over the said building for other purposes. Since the initial reasons given for the takeover of the building proved to be baseless, the attempt failed. However, on the 27th of November, Action TV revealed that the Galgamuh Pradesh Sabha is attempting to take over the building of the Galgamuh Divisional Education Office through the Mahinda Chintana policy framework. The attempts to take over the building have been so disgusting that they even took steps to disconnect the water supply to the building. Action TV earlier revealed that officials attached to the Divisional Education Office have had to make their own routes to enter the building, as the location where the building is located has been turned into a construction site due to the Pradesh Sabha's decision to construct a shopping complex. Action TV also found out that the chairman of the Pradesh Sabha has become powerful enough to issue letters stating that the plot of land housing the Divisional Education Office belongs to them. His letters had also mistaken the name of the plot of land. While construction work on the shopping complex is continuing, a retired ruling party politician from Galgamuh had informed the Mahava Zonal Education Office to vacate the building of the Galgamuh Divisional Education Office before the end of this month. However, even the Director of Education in the Northwestern Province does not have a solution to the issue of where to relocate the Divisional Education Office. Teachers in Galgamuh question as to how the chairman of the Galgamuh Pradesh Sabha can issue such letters when even provincial councils do not exercise land powers.
මේකේ හෙඩින් එක තියෙනවා කොට්ටාස් අධ්‍යාපන කාර්යාලය පරිශ්‍රය තුලට වාහන ඇතුළු කිරීම වළක්වා ගැනීම සම්බන්ධව. ඒක තමයි ලියුනේ.
The heading of the letter reads admittance of vehicles to the premises of the Divisional Education Office. However, finally the letter requests that the office be removed from their plot of land. Copies of this letter have not been sent to anyone else. Only one copy has been sent to the Director of the Divisional Education Office. How can he do such a thing? He is a low-level employee who works under the Regional Director and the Chief Minister's Secretary. This is a despicable act.
එයා කොහොමද මේක ඉවත් කරගන්නේ? මේ කරන කටයුත්ත ඉතාමත් පහත් ඛේදජනක කටයුත්තක් ලෙසයි අපි දකින්නේ.
Continuing to maintain silence on this issue can be considered as a green light for chairpersons of Pradesh Sabhas and retired politicians to exercise provincial educational powers. Chief Minister of the Northwestern Province, this is once again over to you.
Transcending the boundaries of conventional journalism, Newsfirst strives to reach out to the public and shine a spotlight on burning issues.
Yes, now Newsfirst government, which is part of this initiative, took place in Norelia today, bringing together farmers from the region as well as government officials.
Newsfirst Gammadda.
The objective of Gammadda 6 was to draw the attention of the respective authorities to the issues faced by the farmers in the Norelia district. The live recording of Gammadda 6 took place today at the Madhuma Bandaru College premises in Norelia. Farmers from all corners of the Norelia district arrived at the college premises today to raise their issues directly with the authorities. Minister of Agriculture Mahinda Yapa Mewardana was joined by Ministers C.B. Ratnayaka and Navin Disanayaka, who represent the Norelia district. Government officials also took part in the program. The live recording will be aired on our sister channel Sirisa TV in the near future.
Newsfirst Gammadda.
Now in business news tonight, Chinese leaders have wrapped up a 4-day economic work conference pointing out 6 major tasks they say will maintain stable economic policies to achieve reasonable economic growth in the coming year.
Well, the 4-day economic conference, chaired by Chinese President Xi Jinping, decided to maintain the proactive fiscal policy and prudent monetary policy stance in 2014.
Yes, in a statement after the conclusion of the closed-door meeting, officials said the country would expand its reforms into different sectors.
In sports news, it's cricket news. Sri Lanka clinched victory of the second T20 international against Pakistan yesterday, levelling the 2-match series at 1-all. The 24-run victory allowed Sri Lanka to retain the number 1 position in the T20 rankings.
As put into bat at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium, Sri Lanka got off to a great start with openers Kusal Janit Pereira and T.M. Dilshan putting on an opening stand of 100 runs. Dilshan, who was on the verge of another half-century, was the first wicket to fall as he was undone by Saeed Ajmal for 48. Sikuke Prasanna hammered a quick-fire 21 of 8 before becoming Ajmal's second victim of the day. Undeterred, Kusal Janit Pereira went on to hammer 84 runs and led Sri Lanka to a total of 211 for the loss of 3 wickets in their allotted 20 overs. Kumar Sangakkara chipped in with an unbeaten 44.
A straight shot, straight hit. Will this be taken? Soeb Maksud can't do it.
There you go. That's experience, that's stroke.
Now Pakistan, who commenced their run chase, was struck an early blow as they lost opener Ahmed Shehzad for just 8 runs. The Sri Lankan bowling attack managed to rip through the Pakistani batting lineup and Pakistan were 121 for 8 at one point. However, a 9th wicket stand of 63 between Sohail Tanveer and Saeed Ajmal threatened to take the game away from the Lankans. However, after Tanveer fell for a well-made 41, Sri Lanka were able to wrap up the victory in 19.2 overs. Sachin Senanayake picked up 3 wickets for the Lankans.
Ajmal goes for the big swing and he's given him this series of 2.
Now Christmas is nearly upon us and a Christmas concert themed a family Christmas festival will take place tomorrow.
That's right. Now MTV Sports and Yes FM are the media sponsors of this event.
Much loved Christmas music from Bach, Mendelssohn, Anderson and many composers will be performed at the concert by the Symphony Orchestra. The event will take place tomorrow evening at the BMICH and the Symphony Orchestra will be conducted by Ajit Abesekara.
And there's music there for everybody. As usual, the first half is entirely orchestral and contains very bright festive pieces. The second half is with a choir. We have this time with us the Old Joes and Contemporary Choir, which is directed by Ashant Piris, performing with us. And there the audience will also have a segment where they'll sing along with the orchestra and the choir. So I think there is something for everybody and we hope that all who come there will have a nice, enjoyable evening.
Well, that wraps up your news for this Saturday night. I'm Sonali Wanigabadike.
And I'm Madhushka Balasuriya. Before we go, a quick look at your weather forecast. Take care and good night.
Newsfirst at 9.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.